How y'all doing? This revelation. Today is Wednesday, October 16, 2019. I'm here today to talk to you. I'm here today to talk to you about history. History means his story. I'm about to tell you about a little bit of forgotten knowledge about who you are, and you forgot who you are. So I'm gonna try to remind you. You're gonna be saying this fool is crazy. You don't know what he talking about. Something wrong with him. He fell and hit his head. But I just want you to stop, listen, because it may save your life one day, and try to open that little mind of yours because it's closed and it need to get out the box. So today, tonight, we're gonna talk about Eve. We're gonna talk about Adam. So what we're gonna talk about. We're gonna talk about Eve and Adam. Y'all don't understand what we are. The Bible tell you a little bit of the truth, but y'all don't understand what we are. When they're talking about Adam, it's talking about the sun. It's talking about Eve. They was talking about Mother Earth. Okay? You need the sun to live. You need the earth to live. Without the sun, Homo sapien, which is people, will die off. Without the Mother Earth, Eve, we will die because we need the oxygen, the food, the water, the environment to live. We need Adam, the sun, because the sun controls the weather. The sun, we need the light for the vitamins and moisture for our skin from the sun. The sun controls growing food. It controls so many things. They even did research with the weather, like the sun and the earth control our personality, everything. People don't know, you know, the sun was here at the beginning. Okay, you got helium in your body. The sun is 80% helium. You got stardust with star is the sun. You got stardust in your brain cells. How did that get there? Make you say, So I'm here to try to throw that knowledge. When you say amen, that's where the Christian Bible got that from. Amen. Amen Ra. Every time you say amen, you giving praise to the Son. You think you're giving it to Jesus, but you're giving it to the Son. Um, this, you have to do this research. I'm just trying to let people know and be aware what's going on. When I talk about the Anunnaki is all through the Bible. But the Anunnaki, in the Christian world, y'all call them angels. In the Sumerian world, they call them the Anunnaki. Okay? In the Anunnaki rose up on the scene 450,000 years ago. That's what it says in the Sumerian text. Other tablets state they came 1.8 million years ago. People are like, how do you know that? That's not real. You was taught in school about dinosaurs, but people don't know much about them, only about their bones. You see, people learn their history, his story, and then only go back 5,000 years. The stories you're reading in the Bible, y'all think it happened this year, then the following year. The stories in the Bible were told from the Sumerian text. Okay, the Sumerian text is real old. Bible only 2,000 years old. Sumerian text is over. Well, they found it six. They talk about it 6,000 years ago. But the Sumerian text go into detail on Genesis, on how we were made, how we came about. It tell the whole story on the Garden of Eden and everything. The Bible just tell certain parts and leave stuff out. So when you see angels, you see a white man with wings who's a man of God. In the Anunnaki version, in their version, when they say Anunnaki, they're angels. But in the Sumerian text, they call them aliens. Okay? They're aliens. Uh, the Anunnaki is spelled with A. I'm going to have to write it down. It's A N K. Wait. It's, it's A N. Or it's Anunnkia. Mine getting kind of slow. Doing a lot of research. It's Anunnkia. They're studying this at the UCLA University. You can look it up online, and they have a whole course on the Anunnaki, Sumerian text. Read up on it. They're studying at colleges. I'm gonna tell you a little story about it. What I know. Um, it was people doing research. They talk about these cities in the Bible that nobody never found. And the explorer, he went out to search for these cities that were in the Bible. He went to Syria, and that was in 1847. He stumbled upon the palace, and that's where he found all these Akkadian and Sumerian tablets, and it had cuneiform writing, and he couldn't understand it, but it was in Hebrew, Arab, and other different type of languages mixed, and he had to decipher it. And that was in 1847. When you look up Anunnaki, they call it mythology, like Zeus and Hercules. But they call it mythology because he found it in 1847, because it was talking about flying all over the planet. We weren't flying in airplanes again. It was talking about communicating on telephones and all that. We weren't even using cell phones or telephones back in 1847. It was talking about genetics. It was talking about a whole bunch of things living for millions of years. So that's when they labeled it mythology. If they would have found that today, it wouldn't be labeled as mythology. It'd be history. It'd be taught in history books. Because everything in the Sumerian tablet they talk about, every religion took from the Sumerian tablet. They talk about the great deluge, Noah's Ark, different name, Gilgamesh. They talk about all different type of stuff that happened, how we came about, how we were made in His liking, the image. In the Bible, they have angels. In Sumerian text, in the Book of Enoch, in the Ethiopian Bible, we talk about aliens, how they made us because they wanted us to mine for gold. They wanted us to be their slaves. This and that. They tell the whole story. The Bible leaves pieces out. Like I told you in other segments, this is not your original form. Your original form was a chimpanzee. They took him, group of chimpanzees and modified them to their liking. They made different types of species. When you in your history book and archaeology, if you're learning about that, they talk about the different hominins from the Homo erectus to the Neanderthal to the Homo sapien. Okay, the Anunnaki, which I call angels or gods, they were making different type of slaves. We were just the last model. We were just the last model that they made. Where they say life started in Africa and the black African is the mother of civilization. We was just the original marker that they made. People saying, well, why we got white, Chinese, black? Them different type of ethnicities were made by different groups of aliens so they know who their property was. Okay, we were considered property, slaves. We served we served our masters, called them gods. But all they were aliens that was more advanced than we was by 1,000,000 or 2,000,000 years advanced than us. They came here like the pilgrims looking for gold, for profit. Found a little bit of gold. A few more miners showed up. And then they had a lower caste and a higher caste, and lower caste got mad. The alien women, there wasn't that many of them. They said, well, it was 500 Anunnaki on Earth and 300 on Mars in the text. It was only like 10, 20 women probably on Earth and about 10 on Mars. So a lot of women, alien women were getting raped. So it's a lot of history there that we need to study, look into. So Enki, who was in charge, who was a scientist, a magic scientist in the Bible, it said Lucifer was a musician. I also say that in a Sumerian text about Enki was a musician, but he wasn't. They weren't talking about music like they talking about Bible. The devil know how to play music, instruments real good. A musician, when they was talking about that, they was talking about magic. But magic and science was the same thing. Okay, I'm gonna repeat it. Magic and science was the same thing. They called it magic back then, but we changed the name today and we call it science because magic was considered evil. Tech, evil. Don't use magic. You're worshiping the devil. But we're using magic today. We're using magic right now with this instrument. You know, cell phone, any type of technology back then was considered magic, but now we call it science and technology. Um, they modified us for slavery and also to make us in their liking for the men who didn't have women. They in Genesis chapter 6, verse 1 through 4, when they said the Nephilim came down from the heavens to mate with man's daughter. They came down from the heavens to the earth to mate with man's daughter. We're talking about aliens. But, you know, the King James Version of the Bible copied off the Hebrew version. The Hebrew version of the Bible copied off the Sumerian text. So it keeps getting watering down. So in the King James Version, you don't understand what you're reading because it's been watered down so much. When we were slaves, like I say, in the Bible, they talking about stuff that happened not 5,000 years. In each chapter, they're talking about stuff that happened hundreds of thousands of years, 500,000 years, to 1,000,000 years, to 1,000,000,000 years. It's like all over the place. And people don't understand what they're reading. they got a gas, but they didn't mean it like that. You know, you have to understand what you're looking at because you don't have all the pieces of the puzzle. Okay, y'all gotta understand. An alien wrote the Bible, but when he was talking about Adam and Eve, he wasn't talking about us. They never was talking about us. Okay, like when I told you Adam is the sun, Eve is Mother Earth. Okay, now we're talking about two different stories. One story is about the Anunnaki who's acting like gods. And then we're going all the way to the left, another story when they're talking about in Psalms 82 in the Old Testament, when the gods wanted to make something because, they were bored. They wanted to make life. Okay. Now, where people getting thrown off when they reading what the angels and gods wrote, which were really aliens, um, they're getting kind of confused. Okay, they were trying to teach us something, but we didn't understand or we got lost in the process when they were trying to tell us something. Because in our Milky Way, it's 1.7 trillion suns in our Milky Way. That's just one Milky Way. I'm just talking about where we live. 1.7 trillion. You say, how you get that figure? They had the Hubble telescope count all the stars in our Milky Way. At night, when you see them stars, them are suns like you see in the morning time. That's a sun. Okay, that's what a star is. And over time, you know, it have something that make them stars. It's called an Eagle Nebulin. I showed the Eagle Nebulin on another video I had, and they're positioned in different parts of the Milky Way, and all they do is make suns, make suns. Nobody don't know what a god is. If it's a he or she, is a female, because that's all they do. It's a female. It makes suns, spit it out. Make a sun, spit it out. You get a chance, you get online, look up Eagle Nebulin. You see the big old thing that's the size of a solar system. And all it do is create suns, spit it out, the sun coming out at 180,000 miles per hour. And Eagle Nebulin moving on. And then the sun is still forming, shooting stuff out. That's what create the planets and moons. And yeah, when they're talking about the Son of God, they ain't talking about SON, they're talking about SUN, the Son. Okay? When they're talking about the Son, Jesus died and then rose up. We're talking about from the 23rd, 24th, 25th. That's when the sun go down and then it rise back up over 3 days. Um, so, like, we get confused with the stories. The Anunnaki was trying to tell us the Garden of Eden is all outer space, and they also was trying to tell you a little bit of this, a little bit of that. It was probably twisting up words, but that's when you got to study. You got to study, decipher it, and learn for yourself. Okay, it's two stories going on where people saying this but worshiping this. Okay, in the Bible, you're worshiping aliens and you're seeing what they said over time when they were here. Okay, with the real gods, they don't even talk to us. Okay? The earth is a God. The sun is a God. Provide food. The earth provide oxygen, food. Um, the Sumerian Akkadian call Earth a key. That's the true name for a key. When I say Anunnaki, I'm talking Akkadian Sumerian. Anunnaki means from those who came from the heavens to earth. That's what Anunnaki mean. Okay? It came from the heavens. People like, I'm gonna do good, I'm gonna go to church so I can go to heaven. You are already in heaven. You are already in heaven. In the original text, there's no such thing as hell. It's something to fear you to go to church. Now in Buddha, it has different dimensions where you can be mad, happy, or sad, or you can be in heaven or hell. They're called different dimensions. Or when you get mad, you ready to hurt somebody, or when you happy and you in love, you're in different dimensions. Now that's what they could have been talking about. But you got to do your homework. When I'm doing my homework because I'm studying with the Bible and the Sumerian text, and then I'm doing my homework where I'm looking at things that are considered real gods that been here from the beginning that nobody don't give no respect to. Nobody respect the planet. We chopping down trees. That's the Mother's Earth lungs. We taking the oil out Mother Earth to drive in the cars. That's Mother Earth blood. I mean, we're doing all type of disrespectful things to Mother Earth. So people saying, what the hell are you talking about? Why do you think we have global warming? People saying it's because we drive in the car. Yeah, that's part of it. But you got to realize we're living inside of a God. We're like a parasite. You know what a parasite is? A parasite um, can't live without a host. And that's us. We're a parasite, like a cancer. We can't live without the earth. If the earth die, we die. So the earth have a fever right now. It's burning up. That's why the ice glaciers are melting, because it's sick. Mother Earth is sick right now because we're being disrespectful to her. So she's burning up with a fever. And we got to cool her down if we want to be around. We got to cool Mother Earth down because it is still a living person. You see, our time and Mother Earth time is different. To the gods, time don't mean nothing to them like it does to us. Time is different. How you live for 120 years, you think you gone, but you're not. But with the Earth, Mother Earth, and with Amen Ra, the sun, they live for billions of years. They live for a long time. Okay? And when the sun decides it's ready to go, it starts getting big. It starts sucking up everything around it, and then it blows up. It blows up and causes supernova. They think the sun is dying when it blow up. No. It's just going across the universe with that energy. Okay? I know I'm going all over the place, but I'm trying to explain things to you where you understand it. Because when I'm talking about the sun, the earth, or the moon, I'm talking about the gods. When I'm talking about the Anunnaki, the angels, the demons, I'm talking about aliens. So you got to be able to understand what's going on. Okay? Like when you go to sleep, okay, you're in a different dimension. You got to get that connection to when you die, where you're going. You got to keep that connection. That's why you got to go to sleep. All right? When you're praying or chanting, you're worshiping. Worship mean work for. Okay. Hebrew, Akkadian, Sumerian. Worship mean work for. So you're doing two different things. You're worshiping two different entities when you doing the Bible. Okay. You're worshiping the alien who told you about gods and who told you about chanting and worshiping. But you're really trying to worship the true one, but you're not really calling about the right name. You're giving that energy to something else. So it's not your fault. It's not nobody's fault, but the ones who really know and continue to let you do the wrong thing. That's why you gotta do your research, study, learn different type of languages to understand. And the best place to go is to the UCLA archives for the Anunnaki, so you can get the studying and understanding. They left a lot of technology behind. People like where, like with the pyramids, they still don't know how they built it, where it came from, blah 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 blah. They just left something behind so you will know that they was there. Okay. When you get to digging and digging and they find dinosaur bones, keep on digging, digging, you might find some other stuff. You'll be like, wait a minute, how this could have been made? This is impossible, because the deeper you dig, the further you go back through time. When you digging, digging and digging and digging, the deeper you dig underground, the further you will go back and find stuff from the past that the world forgot. Um, it's just so much. I can't like this teach you like that where you can understand uh, its ways. When you it's a lot of things we lost contact with, we forgot. You remember, anytime it's an urban legend or mythology, you need to remember it's a true story. Okay, it really happened. They call it an urban legend because it happened so long ago it couldn't be possible, but it happened. They call it a legend. It happened so long the world forgot. We forget. You only live for 120 years if you really take care of yourself. A lot of people ain't doing that. A lot of people dying before 120 years. But in the Sumerian text, the gods were living for hundreds of thousands of years, even a million years. Okay? They had the technology to live for a long time. We had that technology too. It's telling us in the story. In the Bible, Sumerian, it's telling us that's what they were doing. They were living for a million years. We could do the same thing. It's all right there. Where if you want to live from hundreds of thousands to millions of years, we have the technology to do that. You want to live. If you want to be able to talk to the gods, we have the technology. We can do that. We can, I've been studying, we can stop hurricanes, tornadoes, earthquakes. We have the technology. People say, it's just nature. You can't do nothing about it. You can. We have the technology to stop it, where it can affect people, kill people. Diseases. Okay. Mother Eve and the Anunnaki made these diseases for a reason, to take out, to kill things. So that's why we have medicine, what used to be called potions. We have medicine that help treat and cure some of them diseases, you know. People be like, I don't know how to meditate. Everybody meditated before. I don't know how to meditate. I don't know what you're talking about. Everybody, male, female, masturbated. You meditated. You thought of somebody beautiful who you were attracted to. You meditated that you was being intimate with them, and you tricked your mind and your body where you was able to ejaculate. You went into a different dimension and you was meditating. That's meditation. You be like, well, what this fool talking about? It's meditation. You concentrated. You changed your environment. You made it where the person is very attractive, who you wanted to be with, and you touched yourself. It's meditation, baby. And you was able to trick the mind to release that energy. Take nothing but practice, baby. Where you can meditate or do it while you dreaming. Where you at a different level of using your mind. You gotta remember the mind is the key. This ain't nothing but a vessel. The Anunnaki telling you in stories, if you want to live beyond 120 years, they're telling you how to do it. You just gotta read the story and think outside the box. That's all you gotta do. If I had the money and the technology, I know the way how to live for 100,000 years because I've been studying it. If I had the money and the time and the people backing me up, I know a way how to talk to the gods to divert a hurricane or how to stop a tornado or how to predict an earthquake. If I had the money and the people backing me up, I know how to do all them things. Because I know how to think outside the box. I've been studying it. I'm learning a lot of things. Yeah, y'all fella realize when you go to sleep, you going online. You know how you go online on the computer? Like you looking at me now? Online is in your brain where you connecting to the online when you go to sleep. You know why you gotta connect? So when you die, that connection of that energy can go to the mainframe. I'm probably losing you right here. A lot of people call it when you die, you going to heaven. So your soul is going to heaven. I'm talking about the same thing, but in a different way. But over time, when I show people how to do certain things, because I'm going to show you how to do things when the time comes. Okay? I'll show you how to use magic. I'll show you how to talk to the gods. Not pray and beg, chant, not chanting and begging. I'll show you how to talk to the gods. Because they talking, but you're not listening. When they see a hurricane, they talking. They talking big shit. When they see an earthquake, they talking big shit. When they send a tornado, they talking big shit. When they sending a disease to you, the guys are talking, but you choose not to listen. You ignoring them, him or her. You ignoring them. You looking in the book of spells. You go do all that bad shit. Then you want to come back and look in the book of spells and think all your shit is gone. You don't have to worry about nothing. You go talk to a man in the box after you did some bad shit you didn't have no business doing, and he tell you all your sins is washed away. God gonna let you into heaven, and you feel good about yourself. Now I'm about to go back into the world and do some more bad shit. You need to wake up Do research. Because I notice a lot of people, they pray, but deep down inside, they know they're going to run to that magic. You're gonna run to that magic. When I'm talking about magic, I'm talking about science. When you run to that magic, you're gonna run to that medicine. You're gonna run to that hospital. Okay, that doctor used to be a witch doctor. That medicine used to be a potion. So you transforming. Okay, you transforming. You like we gonna pray, but you gonna run your ass to magic. So you flip flopping. And ain't nothing wrong with running to magic because you use it all the time. You use it all the time. From a cell phone, from watching TV to driving your car. If you look throughout history, his story, I'm telling you, with the little magic carpet, they flying on the magic carpet. He was using magic, a vehicle, with the angels. I'm telling you in the Bible, wings mean that being can fly. They telling you everything about aliens, about everything you want to know in all the different religions and everything, but you look at it from a different point of view. But I'm gonna have to. I'm better at showing you than telling you, and I'm gonna have to show everybody on how to communicate with the guys, how to tap to online with your mind, how to live beyond your years. And remember, you're already in heaven because you're floating through the heavens. Now, if you want to go out of space and be in heaven, you can do that too. It's going to cost you a lot of money because they're building spaceships right now where it's $1 million to sit down and go out of space, go around the earth, and come back down. What's the name? Um, um, what's no? I'm trying to think. We had this dude named Zachariah Zinson. He's the one who did a lot of research on the Anunnaki too. But the problem is nobody don't know what they really look like. You can speculate, call them giants. We do know the Anunnaki were taller than us. They were like between 7 and 10 feet tall. We also know the Anunnaki had elongated heads. So in the Bible, they talk about they handed kingship down. So with the pharaohs like King Tut, Anunnukia, uh, all of the pharaohs had elongated heads. Even Cleopatra, all of them had elongated heads. That was a signature sign of the Anunnaki. But we use a lot of Sumerian stuff and don't even know that, like with the zodiac signs. When you said I'm a Scorpio, that came from the Anunnaki. How we grow our food, that came from the Anunnaki. Do your homework from Sumeria. Um, how we grow our food, mathematicals, the time, 60 minutes, 60 seconds on a watch, that came from the Anunnaki. Guilty or innocent when you go to court, Anunnaki. Congress came from the Anunnaki. A lot of stuff with government, branches of government, came from the Sumerian. The Sumerians saying the Anunnaki taught them. The Anunnaki are aliens. Look it up. Sumerian text. How the Sumerians came out of from nowhere, southern Iraq. They, they were a group of people. They don't know where they came from. They taught the Iraqis. They call that the first thing of civilization. They had the different branches of government. The Sumerians, the first one who had a military. That's what we model off of today. The Romans, Alexander, all of them to into today, copy on having a military. Yeah, they the first one had a military. They had police. They had all that stuff. So do your homework. It came from them, even from the priests and worshiping and all that. They the one who taught us, and it was adapted all around the world. So that's why I just tell you to do your homework. Um, I'm gonna be doing homework and more research over time. It's gonna take time because there's a lot of stuff I gotta learn for myself before I can tell you about it. Some people like this fool lost his mind. He crazy. You need to go get him some help. I'm entitled to your opinion. You don't have to listen to me. You can say what you want to say, but you gotta wake up. You gotta wake up. You're still a modern day slave. Like, no, I ain't no. You still a slave. If you're chasing that dollar, still a slave. We shouldn't have to pay rent. We shouldn't have to buy food. All this shit belong to us. And this is a major setback. It's a modern day slave controlled by money. So we're gonna all have to wake up, try to get it together, and you're gonna have to open your mind that there's other life forms that's intelligent that you probably see and walk by, but they look like you because they're in disguise, but it's something else. But it's coming. But it's getting late. I gotta get ready to go to work and stuff because I'm a modern day slave. I gotta take care of my family, you know, because that's the rules, the regulations in the game of life that I'm playing. But I'm just trying to work the world up so they can start opening their minds because the Anunnaki is still here and they're controlling everybody through the banks, the governments, and through politics. And it's just slowing us down. We need to wake up and change everything. All this stuff with Donald Trump and impeachment, all of it is just a distraction to what's about to come. You're going to have to prepare yourself because this is the calm before the storm. And it's coming. Okay? It's coming. And you're going to have to choose a side. So I'm about to sign off this Revelation Talking. And you can find me on Mr. Revelation on YouTube. And I have a lot of different documents on there. But I have an answer for a lot of things. And I'll teach you a little bit more on the next segment. Revelation signing off. Bye bye. Good night.